Good afternoon. My name is Philip Fohr. I'm a Ford dealer in Germany and Bulgaria, and I'm also the current chairman of the European Ford Dealer Association.
Fantastic.
Now my question. At the beginning we saw we are all in an economical challenge, and we think it's great that you're investing so much money into this challenge. But where do you see and how do you see your vision to invest right now, and how do you think will this materialize in an important market share for all of us?
Well, very good. And it's, I'll maybe take this one and see if my colleagues would like to add. Clearly this is a really important question. And Ford took a point of view nearly 6 years ago for the long term that we wanted to serve all of our customers around the world with a complete family of best-in-class vehicles. That's the journey that we started on 6 years ago. And we knew that the most important thing would be that we had a complete family and also the freshest showroom. So no matter what happened economically, our commitment, our brand promise was that we were going to invest and continue to invest even through the recessions. And a clear example of that is, of course, in the United States with what the United States has gone through. And because of that, we have now ended up with what many people arguably think is the best family of vehicles throughout the whole world. And so this commitment to Europe is another manifestation. We want to accelerate the development of these new products, not only for the 14 million vehicle market that we have today, but also to be here for the customers and be part of the economic recovery. So you're going to continue to see Ford continue to invest even in the toughest times, because we're absolutely committed to serve these customers through the good times and the tough times. Anything else like that? No. Okay. Very good. Okay, another question.
Hello, it's Philip Maskell. I'm the chairman of the UK Ford Dealer Council.
Very good.
I'm a Ford dealer in the UK. You've actually visited my dealership, Mr. Mulally, a couple of Septembers ago. We're very privileged. Again, adding to what Philip Fohr has said, on behalf of the UK dealers, can we thank you for today, and perhaps our UK dealers could make a bit of noise and just appreciation for what we've seen today. I think there's one burning question that I have, and we were talking about this in a pre-meeting of our dealer council only yesterday, and that is at the entry end of the market. With the economic situation in Europe and the UK, and also our customers looking to perhaps downsize to smaller cars, there's obviously a big opportunity in the sub-B segment. And can I ask what plans you have in that sector of the market? Particularly on price, because we're looking at lower priced sub-B segment.
You bet. Well, first of all, very good to see you again. Another really important question and a very important part of our strategy. And what I'd like to do is have Stephen start out with the overall business view of that. And then I'd like to ask Raj to give you our viewpoint of the B segment worldwide, which will also continue to support our customers in Europe. Stephen?
Yeah, thank you. Philip, nice to see you. I can just about see you from here. Firstly, I think you've seen a considerable array of B products introductions that we're already bringing. So as people downsize, obviously not everybody's going down to sub-B. There's a lot of B product opportunities for us here. Secondly, I think it is worth reminding ourselves that we do have a very good association with Fiat, and which actually goes through beyond the middle of this decade with a sub-B product. And clearly there are opportunities beyond that. Perhaps Raj may want to add to that.
Yeah, the B value segment, as we call it, is an extremely important segment to us globally. And when we introduced the Figo into that segment, in India we tripled our sales with that one offering. So it's clearly a segment we're focused on and working on the next generation. And that's what's great about the One Ford plan, because should opportunities for that type of vehicle arise elsewhere in the world, we've got a vehicle to deploy and ready to go to capture that opportunity.
I might just add in a summary manner that this is a tremendous transformation and opportunity for Ford to serve. Because when we look at the market going forward over the next 5 to 10 years, nearly 60% of all the vehicles worldwide will be the B and the C size. And then about 25% will be in the CD size, and then another 15% will be in the larger vehicles. So even though larger vehicles will always be important to Ford, this transformation that Ford has taken is to serve all those market segments, and clearly the B and the C are going to be so important for all of us going forward.
Hello, my name is Christian Digouin. I'm a Ford dealer in France. I've been working with Ford for 25 years, and I can tell you guys that today is a great day for me, and I'm thinking about my 450 employees, and I can tell you that for them also it's a great day. It's so fantastic in this very difficult environment to see a brand investing so much for building the future. It's very important. Coming back to my question, Steve, you were talking about the retail experience, and specifically about what we 24 dealers in Europe are currently piloting, which is the consumer experience movement, which is a culture change for us, for dealers. And I think that you've been working on this program for longer in the US. I would like to have some feedback from you. What do you think about the program, and what are the key conclusions and benefits of this experience for the customers and the dealers?
Very good. I think what I'd like to do is to have Jim give you his perspective, because you all know Jim, and you know his tremendous background in the automobile industry, all based on service. And he also has led a complete transformation of the consumer experience in the United States. And so it'd be great to get his perspective on your question. Jim?
Thank you. Bonjour. I wanted to explain that our journey in the U.S. As we transform the brand really does come down to that last place, which is the retail network. And what we found was a bit surprising. We discovered through research that satisfied customers are great, but real loyalty to your dealership and to our brand is driven by customer engagement. That means someone who is willing to advocate your dealership or our brand to a friend or a neighbor. To get that kind of engagement is very different than satisfying someone. So what we found in our pilot in the US is the importance of the engagement of the associates in the dealership. Now, I imagine that many of the tens of thousands of people watching today are the associates from your dealerships. And the one big message I have to you as retailers, and what we've learned in the US, is improving the facility, making it more welcoming, more warm, and the initiatives that Stephen's team are doing here are fantastic. But the next level of breakthrough in retail is going to come from the engagement of your associates in the dealership. How satisfied and engaged are they? Because they will in turn engage your customers. And the real payoff for us as a brand is their engagement. That's the biggest learning we've had so far. It's not satisfaction necessarily, it's engagement. And that engagement, the customer, comes from the human side of our business in the dealership. And I know how excited we all are about the pilot here in Europe. And I know that you'll use that insight to your advantage here too.
Very good. Thank you.
Renderebbe molto più accessibile. A quando? Grazie.
His question is associated, well, first of all, it's sure good to see you again. Remember the last time very well in Rome. His question is about automatic transmissions and smaller vehicles and how that might be really be perceived as a plus with the consumer. Maybe, Jim, you want to take this first shot, and Raj can comment?
We certainly understand the importance of the growing trend towards automatic transmissions. As you may know, we've been extending the DPS6 transmission through all of our small car lineup. And Raj, I'll let Raj comment on our plans here. What I have to say, though, is that we are seeing, both in Europe and around the world, a growing trend towards customers to use automatic or dual clutch automatic light transmissions.
Yeah, I would just add to Jim's comment, it is the dual clutch 6-speed transmission that we'll have available in the B cars, and it's a big part of delivering those fuel economy, the efficiency that we get out of the dual clutch and the 6 speeds coupled with both our petrol and EcoBoost engines deliver some of the fuel efficiency numbers. So it's an important part of our strategy, not just for Europe, but worldwide.
Just to add to that, if I may, North America is what, 80% automatic mix, maybe 85, I don't know. Europe, historically 20%, but growing to 25, maybe 30%. We wouldn't have been able to have a sustainable business conversation around automatic in B cars and in some other cars in Europe if we were a standalone business. One Ford actually allows us to leverage the fact that we've got all these automatics around the world, and suddenly we've got scale, we've got capability. Now we can have a business case to look at all of the transmission connections that we think we need around the world and in Europe for this particular case.
Good evening, or good afternoon. I'm Roger Tronbath, Key Auto Centre at Kingsbridge, one-horse company in a one-horse town in South Devon. You mentioned customer experience, and my mind immediately clicks to corporate identity. And if that is part of your plan, may I ask you to bear in mind the size, particularly of the retail dealer? The customer expects to find a glass palace in the city, but if it's imposed on the smaller dealers in the country, first of all, we'll be bankrupt, and secondly, our customers will be even more convinced than normal that they're being ripped off. So may I suggest that to use the...
That's a technical expression.
It's all, you'll find my hat at the end of the row and you can put the contributions in there. May I use an English expression, horses for courses, and that the image should be applicable in stages and at standards relative to where we are and what our market is, so that we can embrace it, look forward to it, and not have a negative effect. Thank you.
Thank you.
English, I put on my headphones because the Devon accent's a little difficult. Thank you for the question. And actually, we absolutely agree, okay? It has to be scalable, it has to be affordable. This isn't a proposal to roll out this huge cost. We're fully aware of the profitability situation across the dealer network in Europe and indeed in some other parts of the world. And I think when you go downstairs, you'll be delighted to see the way that we've treated it. A lot of it's interior. We haven't even started to discuss exterior yet. In fact, we think that the signage we've got is fantastic. And I agree absolutely that our understanding and our expectations need to be scalable depending upon the commercial availability of the business. So I'm completely aligned with your comment.
Very good. Thank you.
Ja, mein Name ist Thomas Willer, ebenfalls aus Deutschland. Ich muss gestehen, bei der Präsentation der Modelle eben war ich auch so begeistert und eingenommen, dass ich tatsächlich auch die B-Klasse etwas vergessen habe. In Deutschland glauben wir ja ab und zu... Sorry?
Yeah, it's being translated in German to us.
Das war hessisch, aber... Okay. Shall I begin now? My English is not good enough.
Yeah, please.
So, I was very happy about your presentation of the cars. So I forget a little bit that we have with the Ford car in Germany the only little car in the B segment. And when I go and look out of the street, especially in Germany, is on the road, I think we, in Germany we say, wir behandeln es etwas stiefmütterlich, dieses kleine Auto. Und ich wollte Sie bitten, vielleicht noch etwas konkreter zu werden, to be more concrete, what in the next 2 or 3 years we will have special in the segment about 10.000 euros, also billiger wie 10.000 Euro auf Deutsch gesagt.
Thank you. That translated perfectly.
I think we want to make Marktanteil, yes, and yeah. Ich versuche mein Bestes. Und ich denke, es ist nicht relativ leicht, in diesem Bereich Marktanteil zu machen. Und ich glaube, da könnten wir relativ leicht Markt gewinnen. So, ich habe immer was von Figo gehört, der in Indien gebaut wird bzw. verkauft wird. Für mich wäre wichtig zu wissen, wann kommt da was nach Europa?
Very good. Thank you. His question deals with, again, the B-size car and especially he's referencing the call, but what are we going to do longer term for Ford to service the market? Now I go back to, first of all, this size market is so important to us because worldwide, 60% of the vehicles are going to be that B and C size. And so we have really increased our investment in finding that, in determining and creating what that product line looks like. And so it won't be very long before we're going to have some great offerings that will be around the world in that segment size because it is really, really important. So you mentioned the Figo. I mean, just that one Figo in India, and we tripled our market share. It's a fabulous vehicle. So we know we can do it. We know it's going to be an important part of our portfolio. So it's a really big part of our product development plan.
Hi, finally from the media side, because it looks like we are the minority here. I'm Oleg from Ukraine. I'm a member of the jury who granted you the Agent of the Year award this year in June. I haven't been in the Stuttgart and the ceremony, so thank you once again and congratulations for this great job. And I'm very much fascinated from this kind of engineering job. And what is my question? How the idea is accepted globally? Because downsizing is a great idea for Europe, but I've been in a Moscow Motor Show last week, seeing that, okay, people in the country with low price fuel is not very much interested in saving fuel, and for example in the US, for the customer with low technical knowledge, even how to find the engine of this size under the hood of the Mondeo. Thank you very much.
Okay. An English in here too. So I think it's a great question relative to customer acceptance of downsizing. And clearly we've had great success with EcoBoost here in Europe. But maybe the example I'd use is in North America, where we had a very long discussion in a completely different segment, the full-size pickup segment, whether big F-150 customers would move from their V8s to V6s. And it was along the same lines, would they be willing to downsize? And we've had tremendous success with our V6 EcoBoost engine in the F-150, and it's almost 50% of our mix now, in the high 40%. And so I think as long as you can deliver the capability, as long as you can deliver the power and performance and the reliability, then the fuel consumption efficiency is something definitely customers will look for. But you have to do both. It has to be a no excuse, no compromise delivery. And I think that message is really working worldwide.
Well, the only thing I would add is the fact that you were at the Moscow show last week, which I understand was a really good show and a fantastic success for Ford. And that's exactly why we've set up our joint venture in Russia with Ford Solars, which really is starting to work. And remember, we're putting down capacity for over 300,000 vehicles, with vehicles all over the world. We've spoken, I think you launched Explorer when we were in Moscow. But they want products from all over the world, and one Ford facilitates that.
Well, thank you so much for coming today, and thank you so much for your participation. So, now the time has come for us to go downstairs to look at the great vehicles we have seen here on the stage. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.